Today's little riff du jour. Welcome to Wednesday Evening Musicale. I'm calling tonight's program Prodigal Songs because on my list are songs that I haven't gotten to play much because I haven't been on tour and doing extended concerts night to night. And you know, I describe it as, after a while, it's not me so much missing the songs, it's like the songs missing me. I feel a little tug at my trouser leg, and it's like a song's down there going, hey, what am I, chopped liver? So I fit a few in tonight into the Prodigal Songs category. I'm going to do a little riff here because I was just at the farmer's market a few days ago, and boy, it's just high harvest time, and we have these wonderful young farmers and little farms with tomatoes as big as your head and ears of corn as long as your forearm, and now we have peaches and all sorts of things happening. So I wanted to send this out to all the farmers, especially the ones in Iowa who had such a hard time recently with the derecho that happened out there. I came across these words years ago and put a melody to it to honor these important human beings in our life through all the work they do, drought and heat and rain, and still they're out there. Let the wealthy and great roll in splendor and state. I envy them not, I declare it. I eat my own ham, my chickens and lamb. I shear my own fleece and I wear it. I have lawns, I have bowers, I have fruit, I have flowers. The lark is my morning alarmer. So jolly people now, here's Godspeed the plow. Long life and success to the farmer. All right. Well, to sleep, perchance to dream, to sleep. Let's just stop right there because it's something we talk a lot about in our culture. We talk about it and we do studies on it, and then we talk about the studies, and we seem to talk about it a lot, and we seem to not get enough of it. Sleep. It's like there's become a whole sort of almost a pride around not getting enough sleep. I'm like an insomnia machismo, or let's call it a mazismo. And I've never been. Sleep's always been elusive for me. It's never been my strong suit, and so it's nothing new for me to consider. But now that I'm getting into that older set, that I'm busting some elder moves, we're told that we need to nap more, that napping is good for us. And so now I'm failing even more because not only do I not sleep at night, but I also am a terrible napper, which led to this next piece I wanted to do for you tonight. Some of you out there might fit this category. So this is especially for you, and it's a little empathy lesson for those of you who can lay your head down on a pillow and go like that. So I call this the Bad Napper Rap, and it's got a part for you in it. At the end of every verse, I'm going to go, I'm a bad napper, and I want you to say back at me, she's a bad napper. And since you're not in a crowd, you don't have to worry about, you can really emote on this. You can really vent and let out some things with this line. You can use it as a kind of therapy if you like. Bad napper rap. Yeah. Evil monkey mind won't let me find the rhythm of sleep. So I keep fidgeting and itching and scratching. There's too much action when there should be stillness. It's downright villainous, this insomniac silliness. So I lie here thrashing instead of crashing, teeth gnashing. I'm a bad napper. What? I didn't hear you. I'm a bad napper. That's better. Useless information once on vacation is suddenly around like some button got found. Someone's ex-wife's name, song lyrics, old shame. Can't stop the floaty-dough. Watch monkey mind go with its demonic grin. I have to give in. It's too late to begin again. I'm a bad napper. Oh, once more for fun. I'm a bad napper. Well, I try counting sheep, but the sheep turn creepy. And then I remember to ask each member of my body to relax. Relax feet, relax calves, relax knees, but that just cracks me up. So I lie in the black with the white noise backing. 1 hour goes by, then 2, I'm through. I lift my head off the pillow, 'cause I know what's true, and so do you. I'm a bad napper. I'm a bad, bad napper. I'm a bad napper. Yeah. Well, okay. One of the things I see on Facebook a lot are the acknowledgments of anniversaries. Couples long married who post their wedding pictures and talk about 47 years of blah, blah, or 38 years. And I've been thinking a lot through this pandemic of what an incredible stretch it's been. I'll use that word for people in relationship. I'm sure it's driven a lot of people to and beyond the edge, and while for others it's strengthened and tightened that bond. And so I wouldn't mind seeing a few more kind of current things like Floyd and Donna made it another week. Let's celebrate. That's what I'd like to see. It would be more relevant, don't you think? This is a song I wrote. It was one of my songs for the Amelia Earhart Project. Because Amelia Earhart and George Putnam, who were married, had struggles like every other married couple. Even in their celebrity, their popularity, they went through the Depression. So they had money problems. They had just lots of struggles, lots of things going on. And this is a song that I wrote for them and for anybody committed to a long-term relationship. It's called What's in a Marriage? People are flying apart, don't even know why they're going, driven by wounded hearts, chased off by hurt and pain and fear. What's in a marriage? What's in a marriage to keep them here? The world is racing along. There's hardly time for second chances. You've got to be so strong to know the truth of what you feel. What's in a marriage? What's in a marriage to keep it real? Deep, some ancient fire is burning, and the heat and a memory draw us near. How to keep the lover's path from turning? There's the rub, my darling dear. It's not so clear, it's not so clear. Why should we keep a vow when We can't even keep a lunch date. Things got away somehow. We barely make it day to day. What's in a marriage? What's in a marriage? To show the way. To lead the way. To help us stay. What's in a marriage? Well, you might have noticed the last Wednesday evening musicale. There's a slightly different location that doesn't resemble my living room quite so much, and that's because we've moved over to Signature Sounds recording studio, which is the domain of my sweetie and my teammate in this project, Mark Thayer. And so back in the 80s, I came out to Connecticut to play music, and there was this beautiful, wonderful performing room at this incredible arts collective that was in an old refurbished barn called the Hocus Pocus Arts. And I would come out, as did many touring musicians, and 100 people would cram into this beautiful room, and it was just a hotbed of culture at that period in time. And time went on, and the collective dispersed, and the barn moved on in ownership, and eventually became Signature Sounds Recording Studio. So I am sitting in that very room where I did concerts when I first came to Connecticut so many years ago, and one day, a while back, I was sitting around thinking, there needs to be a song for that wonderful time and the spirit, the spunk of that place, of this place. And so I came up with this tune, which I wanted it to be whimsical, but I wanted it to be sort of stately and elegant as well. So I came up with this, which I call the Hocus Pocus Arts March. And here I am playing it right at Hocus Pocus Arts. Yeah, Hocus Pocus Arts March. The nice thing about doing that song today, too, I mentioned last week I did a song that I had sung part of way back at the beginning of the musicale as a kind of promo and never finished. And as my mother always said, finish what you started. We were actually using the Hocus Pocus Arts March as an intro to the show itself, but we never finished it. So again, I feel very relieved to have taken you from the top to the bottom of the Hocus Pocus Arts March. And in that spirit, sometimes it takes a long time to finish a song. Sometimes it comes right away, and so you have to have patience and tenacity with an idea sometimes that you feel is on the right track but not quite. And for instance, this tune, which I would have probably started working on around the time I was coming out here to play, but I would just lose track of it. It would sort of disappear. Talk about the prodigal song. It would disappear for not just weeks or months, but years. And then it would loom up again, and I'd grab it, and then it would recede again. And it was finally, right before I was in this very studio recording my CD, New World Order, that the little thread that wove the whole song together finally fell into place. And this is the song that came out of that. It's called The Likes of You. I've been loved like a butterfly, or light around the edges. And I've been loved like a blizzard breaking so sudden upon these ridges. And I've been loved for what I was thought to be, and once for what I ought to be. But I never been loved by the likes of you. Do-do. I have loved from a distance greater than two hearts could weather. And I have loved bound and blind from pain of a kind that would snap love's tether. And I have loved so well I was sent away by one who only meant to play. But I never have loved quite the likes of you. Oh, I knew love so dark and sour, just a hunger of endless yearning. But I can tell you in this hour, the hunger is flown, and I'm learning just what love can do. You have loved with a tenderness I've only known in dreaming. You have loved wild and clear as sunlight all out on the ocean streaming. I steal a glance of joy that I know to be the lover reaching out for me. And I've never been loved by the likes of you. The likes of you. See, that's a fun one. I just haven't sung that in a long time. And for a song that took so long to write, I should sing it a little more often. So this is a song that was written on a road trip from Michigan, where I was living at the time, on my way out to Minnesota, right around this very time of year. I think that's why I was thinking of it, and I haven't sung this one in a very long time either. I have this friend, Patricia, lives in Minneapolis, but grew up in Michigan, and her family all lived up in northern Michigan. And I was on my way to Minnesota, and I thought, oh my God, I'll finally get to sit down and have a visit with Patricia. It had been a really long time. And so I called her, and I found out that she was on her way to northern Michigan. Just as I was on my way to Minnesota, we were probably driving past each other on I-94 on our respective trips east and west. And so she was heading there for a vacation, as she said, but then she started describing her vacation. And the more she talked, the more I could hear the tightness in her jaw. And finally she just went, vacation. This phone call with you is my vacation. And we had a good laugh, and it got me to thinking later. That's the wonderful thing about friendship, is that a real deep and solid friendship just affords you time and space to move out of immediate things and into a more tender place. And that's where this song came from. I call it The Quiet Way. Above the roar, something that I long to hear, the crush of noise. Still I had a tender ear, a sort of sigh, a murmur at break of day. I knew it could be, maybe for me. I was seeking a quiet way out to the fields. The tall grass is bending low toward a shape stark against the morning's glow. I moved in close, you reached out as if to play, my heart beating fast, sensing at last the path to the quiet way. Than I dared to glance. Then that smile, setting all the lights to dance. A simple tune from your mouth, I start to sway with your little song. You took me along and showed me the quiet way. It's in a room, it's in the very heart of town. It's waiting there when all the noise is bearing down, when sleep is scarce and night has too much to say. Remember this place and each shining face who's shown you the quiet way. Remember this song, then very long you'll get to the quiet place. Quiet way. I hope you're listening, Patricia. Well, that brings us to the end of another Wednesday Evening Musicale, the Prodigal Songs edition of Wednesday Evening Musicale. I wanted to invite you to visit my website, claudiaschmidt.com. I keep a virtual tip vessel there. This is a funny time. We musicians talk among each other. To be asking for donations is peculiar. Normally that would be in the purview of a promoter or a house concert sponsor, but We're doing it ourselves in this particular setting. And I keep thinking of those New Yorker dog cartoons. You know, there's the one where the people are sitting in their recliners and the dog is sitting in front of them, facing them, saying, "Once again, I find myself in the awkward position of having to ask one of you for a biscuit." It's a little the way we feel when we do this. But do it we must, and we do. So I thank you so much for listening and for contributing, for participating, for sharing these videos. They live at my website after we do them. And I wanted to leave you with some beautiful words that I came across today. I was digging through my purse. I was tearing it apart, actually, looking for something, which I never found. But I found this, which maybe that was what was meant to happen. My purse is full of precious little scraps. If somebody stole my purse, they wouldn't find much in the way of value, but if they stopped to read all these precious scraps of paper, it would change their life. That's all I can say. So this is from Rilke. Ah, not to be cut off, not through the slightest partition, shut out from the law of the stars. The inner, what is it, if not intensified sky, hurled through with birds and deep with the winds of homecoming? Thank you. Be well. Good night.
What's in a marriage? What's in a marriage? To show the way, to lead the way, to help us stay.